In continuation of P block elements chapter, we are going to continue today with our group 16 elements, chemical properties. There the first we have to see its reaction with hydrogen. The elements of group 16 reacts with hydrogen to form hydrides of the formula H2E, where E can be oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium, forming compounds like H2O, H2S, H2SE, H2TE and H2PO. Now these elements, when combined with hydrogen to form hydrides, let us study the properties of these hydrides. The first one, H2O, water, as we all know, is a colorless, odorless liquid, whereas the remaining hydrides are colorless, bad smelling, poisonous gases at ambient conditions. H2S smell, we have many a times smelled it. It's a rotten egg smell, which we generally have smelled in our laboratory. Okay. Then all these hydrides have angular structure, same as water, and they all involve sp3 hybridization of our central atom. Then the next thing we have to talk about is their acidic character. The hydrides of group 16 elements are weakly acidic. However, down the group, the acidic character of hydrides of group 16 goes on increasing. This increases because down the group its bond enthalpy decreases, that is due to increase in bond length. So as I have mentioned before also, they all are interlinked with each other. So because its bond enthalpy decreases, its thermal stability also decreases. And as its thermal stability decreases, it can give out hydrogen very easily, increasing the acidic character. Then these hydrides can also be used as reducing agents. Again, down the group, because they are increasing the acidic strength, the reducing character will also increase. Rather, water will not be used as reducing character because it has hydrogen bonding. Other than water, remaining hydrides can undergo or used as reducing agent. The upper one will be a mild reducing agent, whereas the bottom one is your strong reducing agent. So that is when they combine with hydrogen to form respective hydrides. Now because of the hydrogen bonding, again melting point and boiling point, we could see the difference. Melting point and boiling point of water is more than that of H2S, whereas compared to H2S, the remaining hydrides melting point and boiling point goes on increasing. So again for this, the abnormality is due to hydrogen bonding, which is present in case of H2O and it is absent in the other hydrides of group 16 elements. The second property we have to see, where the group 16 elements reacts with oxygen. All the elements of group 16 reacts with oxygen to form specially two types of oxides having a formula EO2 or having a formula EO3. These are the two types of oxides which can be formed. So when the elements combine to form EO2 type, then it results into formation of ozone, sulfur dioxide, selenium dioxide and tellurium dioxide. Of this, ozone and sulfur dioxide are by nature in the form of gas, whereas selenium dioxide is in the form of solid. All these dioxides are acidic in nature and they react with water to form acids. For example, SO2, if it combines with water, it results into formation of sulfurous acid, that is H2SO3. Then down the group, their reducing character goes on decreasing. Why it goes on decreasing? Because again the reason in there is reducing agent down the group will go on decreasing, means our sulfur dioxide and tellurium dioxide, if I compare, then sulfur dioxide will be our reducing agent, whereas tellurium dioxide will be our oxidizing agent. Okay, so down the group, reducing character decreases, whereas oxidizing character, if I compare, it will go on increasing. Now let us see the properties of our EO3 type. In EO3 type, we have sulfur trioxide, selenium trioxide and tellurium trioxide. These are the three possible trioxide which it results into. They all are acidic in nature, because again when this combines with water or reacts with water, they results into formation of respective acids. So that is what the reaction with oxygen can combine to form EO2 type as mentioned below, or EO3 type as mentioned over here. After reaction with oxygen, the next we have to see reaction with halogen. Elements of group 16 reacts with halogen to give a large number of halides. They may be of the type EX6, EX4 or EX2. That is hexafluoride, hexahalide, tetrahalide or dihalides. In this, generally our compounds which are X6, in that it results into formation of hexafluorides only. So it can result into sulfur hexafluoride, selenium hexafluoride or tellurium hexafluoride. Among these hexafluorides, they all are colorless gases and they all undergo sp3d2 hybridization. As they undergo sp3d2 hybridization, they all possess octahedral geometry. In this, SeF6, SF6 and TeF6, SF6 is exceptionally stable. That is because of its steric property. So due to its steric hindrance, among all the hexafluoride, sulfur hexafluoride is most stable. Then the next one comes is tetrahalides. Now in tetrahalides, we have fluorides as well as chlorides. So if we compare sulfur tetrafluoride, selenium tetrafluoride or tellurium tetrafluoride or tellurium tetrachloride, they all undergo sp3d hybridization. They all undergo sp3 hybridization, and because of the presence of lone pair of electron, their geometry is trigonal bipyramidal. As there is one lone pair of electron present at the equatorial position, so they undergo a geometry having trigonal bipyramidal. In this, tellurium tetrafluoride is in the form of solid, selenium tetrafluoride is in the form of liquid, whereas sulfur tetrafluoride is in the form of gas. After tetrahalides, the next one we have dihalides. In dihalides, there are many compounds formed, such as sulfur dichloride, sulfur dibromide, selenium dichloride, selenium dibromide, tellurium dichloride, tellurium dibromide. All these dihalides undergoes sp3 hybridization and they all possess tetrahedral geometry. Okay. Now in this, the tetrahedral geometry is little bit distorted again due to the presence of lone pair of electrons present. All these dihalides formed are showing us the geometry same, and here if you could compare hexahalide, tetrahalide and dihalides, then the number of compounds formed in dihalides is comparatively more. So these are the three chemical properties of group 16 element. First one with hydrogen, where they form respective hydrides. Second is with oxygen, and the third one is with halides. After chemical properties of group 16, the next we have chemical properties of group 17. The first reaction we are going to see, that is with hydrogen. The elements of group 17 reacts with hydrogen to form hydrogen halides having a formula HX. So it can form HF, HBr, HCl and HI. Now down the group, the affinity for hydrogen goes on decreasing. Because it goes on decreasing, its stability also goes on decreasing, and as its stability goes on decreasing, its acidic strength goes on increasing. Again, for this the reasons are, over here in HF there is a strong hydrogen bonding, due to which their bond enthalpy will be very high. As its bond enthalpy very high, its stability will be very high, and because of that its acidic strength will be very less. If we go down the group, their bond enthalpy goes on decreasing. Because of the decrease in bond enthalpy, their stability also goes on decreasing, and as a result their stability decreases. They can give away that H plus very easily, so the acidic strength will go on increasing. If I compare this with their thermal stability, then in thermal stability the order will be again decreasing. HF will be the most stable, whereas HI will be the least stable. For that the reason is again bond enthalpy. Down the group, in that halides, the bond enthalpy goes on decreasing, and because the bond enthalpy decreases, the stability also decreases. After reaction with hydrogen, the next we have to see, that is group 17 elements reaction with oxygen. Elements of group 17, that is our halogens, forms many oxides with oxygen, but most of them are unstable. So we are going to pay attention on most of the stable molecules. The first one, fluorine. Fluorine forms two oxides of the formula OF2 and of the formula O2F2. Among the two, OF2 is thermally stable, whereas O2F2 we generally use as a fluorinating agent. At room temperature, among the two, OF2 is more stable. So these are the only two oxides of fluorine which can be formed. Whereas if we see the oxides of chlorine, then in this we have n numbers, a very high number of the oxides of chlorine having a formula Cl2O, ClO2, Cl2O6, Cl2O7 and so on. They all are very high oxidizing agents. We use them as highly reactive oxidizing agents, and they tend to explode. Among this, ClO2 we use it as a bleaching agent in a paper and dye industry. Also we use it in water treatment. Okay, so chlorine generally which we use for water purification is in the form of ClO2 only. Then the next thing we have to see, that is oxides of bromine. Now oxides of bromines can be of the formula Br2O, BrO2, BrO3. These oxides are least stable oxides and they are present only at low temperature. Because they are least stable, they are very powerful oxidizing agents. So the oxides of bromines are generally used as a powerful oxidizing agents. Then the next one we have, that is oxides of iodine. The oxides of iodine can be of the formula I2O4, I2O5 and I2O7. Of this, they are generally insoluble solids and decomposes on heating. I2O5 is a very good oxidizing agent, and also it is used in estimation of carbon monoxide. Generally we do this estimation so as to check the quality of air, that is, does it has a pollutant or not. So for the estimation of carbon monoxide, I2O5 is used. So these are nothing but the different oxides of halogens on combining halogens with oxygen.